What is the main difference between the diesel engine and petrol engine? Anybody? You can answer. Yes, Hemant. Anybody, for that matter, and anybody can answer.
Sir, here is the charge in the diesel engine, and sir, petrol plus is the basic difference is the fuel, sir.
Fuel, I agree with that. That is one difference. Correct. See what happens in the diesel engine. The cycle is completed in the 2 revolutions of the crankshaft. That is same. So here the charge is only air. Air is sucked in and it is compressed. At the end of the compression stroke, the fuel is injected into the combustion chamber at high pressure. The pressure may be 120 to 150 kg per centimeter square. So the fuel is injected into the combustion chamber at the end of the compression stroke. At the end of the compression stroke, so that ignition of the charge takes place. So due to the combustion, what happens? The power is developed which forces the piston moves downwards. Then the power is transmitted to the crankshaft through the connecting rod and it will go to do useful work. So here, in the case of petrol engine, the spark plug ignites the charge. The spark plug ignites the air fuel mixture in the case of petrol engine. So here, what is the difference? That at the end of the compression stroke, the fuel is injected into the combustion chamber in terms of fine sprays at very high pressure. Say that pressure may be around 120 to 150 kg per centimeter square. So the other things remains the same. All the other things remains the same. So in the case of suction stroke, what will happen? The air is taken inside the engine cylinder, whereas in the petrol engine, air plus fuel. You be careful. So in the case of diesel engine, only air is taken inside the engine cylinder. So how this air taken inside the engine cylinder? How? Due to the pressure difference. That is, the pressure inside the cylinder is less compared to the pressure outside the cylinder. So due to the pressure difference, the air is taken inside the engine cylinder through the air cleaner. So, and you know that the piston moves downwards. So the entire cylinder is filled with the air. That is called the suction stroke. That is called the suction stroke. Now what happens after the air is taken inside the cylinder? The piston begins to move upwards. The piston begins to move upwards. The compression stroke starts. The compression stroke starts. So which compresses the charge. So due to the compression, what will happen? The pressure and temperature of the charge gets increased. The pressure and temperature of the charge gets increased. And when the piston reaches TDC, what is TDC? Top dead center. So you must understand what is TDC and BDC. TDC is called top dead center. BDC is the bottom dead center. TDC means the upper limit of the piston travel. BDC is the bottom limit of the piston travel inside the engine cylinder. You understand? What is BDC? What is TDC? The volume displaced by the piston between these 2 points, that is BDC and TDC, is called stroke volume. Is called stroke volume or swept volume. Okay. Now you see that there is a space above the TDC. There is a space. That space is meant for combustion of the charge. That space is meant for combustion of the charge, and that volume is called as clearance volume. That volume is called as clearance volume, so that the total volume becomes stroke volume plus clearance volume. So there is a term compression ratio. Compression ratio is nothing but the ratio of total volume to the clearance volume. It's a ratio of total volume to the clearance volume, and it is very essential that while designing the engine, so we have to design the diesel engine for a very high compression ratio. The compression ratio of diesel engine is 12 is to 1 to say 22 is to 1. 12 is to 1 to 22 is to 1, whereas the compression ratio of a petrol engine is 5 is to 1 to 8 is to 1. So you know why this is high in case of diesel engine? You think about why it is high in case of diesel engine? Because you need the compression of the charge should be more. The compression of the charge should be more in case of diesel engine. Whereas in the case of petrol engine, the compression, that is the charge is ignited with the help of spark plug. We don't have spark plug in the case of diesel engine. We have, at the end of the compression stroke, the fuel is directly injected into the combustion chamber, so that the ignition of the charge takes place. I think now you understood what is compression ratio, what is stroke volume, what is clearance volume. Okay, that's very essential. And you know that coming to the, I think at the end of the compression stroke, the power is obtained due to combustion of the charge, which forces the piston moves downwards. That is called which stroke?
Power stroke.
Power stroke. So the power is obtained, which is utilized, which is transferred to the crankshaft through the connecting rod. So the power is utilized for useful purposes through the crankshaft. So you know that at the end of the crankshaft, the flywheel is attached. Flywheel is attached. I explained about flywheel last class. What are the functions of the flywheel? What are the functions of the flywheel? Last class I explained about the flywheel.
Store energy, sir.
It store energy.
Balances the IC engine, sir. Start the IC engine, sir.
Starting of the AC engine, it stores.
Used as power transmission unit, sir.
It's also used as a power transmission unit. So it stores energy during power stroke and supplies back during idle strokes. Which are the idle strokes?
Sir, other than the power one, sir.
Other than the power one. Okay. And the coming to power is generated. Now we're coming to the exhaust stroke. What happens in the exhaust stroke? Inlet valve is closed. Inlet valve is closed and the pistons begins to, and outlet valve opens. Now the piston begins to move upwards, forcing the exhaust gases outside the engine cylinder. This is called exhaust stroke. This is called exhaust stroke. And the cycle repeats. You know what is, this is one cycle. See, you know that the engine is revolution. Suppose the engine may rotate at 1000 RPM. How many cycles are in that? How many cycles can you expect? Suppose if the engine is running at 1000 RPM. Anybody?
50 seconds.
No. You think over. Anybody?
Which cycle, sir?
Cycle of operation.
Sir, twice, sir, 2 times.
You know, the engine, the cycle is completed in 2 revolutions of the crank.
4 strokes. So,
You're wrong.
sir, in 4 stroke, 2 revolution is there,
2
no, sir?
revolutions.
Yeah, sir. Then
How many cycles are there?
2 times, sir. In one.
500 divided by 1000 divided by 2. How much?
sir, 100 revolution.
1000 divided by 2.
Sir, 500, sir.
500. 500 cycles in 1 minute. 1 minute, how many? 500 cycles in 1 minute. See how fast it is. You can't imagine. That's how when you start the engine, it runs very, very fast. 500 cycles in 1 minute. You can't imagine. Isn't it? That's how you are getting more power. So this is about the working of 4-stroke cycle, 4-stroke diesel engine. Now we have to quote what are the main differences between the diesel engine and petrol engine. What are the main differences? So of course, the fuel is diesel in the case of diesel engine, and it is petrol in the case of petrol engine. And the second, what is the charge? Charge is air in case of diesel engine, but in case of petrol engine, it is air plus fuel. Air plus fuel. Next, ignition. Coming to ignition, how ignition takes place in a diesel engine? Compression ignition. Compression ignition, whereas the ignition takes place in the petrol engine with the help of spark plug. Next, fuel is injected into the combustion chamber by fuel injector in the case of diesel engine, whereas in the petrol engine, air fuel mixture is taken through the carburetor and and it is supplied to the engine. In the case of petrol engine, air fuel mixture is taken through the carburetor. So what is, you must know what is the word carburetor. Carburetor is the part of the fuel system which mixes the air and fuel in proper proportions, and it is supply the same to the engine cylinder. Next, the thermal efficiency of diesel engine is 30 to 38%, whereas in case of petrol engine, it is 25 to 32. So thermal efficiency of diesel engine is high compared to petrol engine. Compared to petrol engine. Next, compression ratio of diesel engine is 14 is to 22 is to 1. It is high. You know why it is high? 14 to 22 is to 1 in case of diesel engine, whereas it is 5 to 8 is to 1 in petrol engine. It is less compared to diesel engine. Whereas the fuel consumption is 160 to 200 gram per HP hour. So it is in case of diesel engine. In case of petrol engine, the fuel consumption is 200 to 280 gram per HP hour. Per HP hour, it is more in case of petrol engine. Next, compression pressure. It is about 35 to 45 kg per centimeter. That pressure obtained at the compression. It is for 35 to 45 kg per centimeter square, and it is less in case of petrol engine, 6 to 10 kg per centimeter square in case of petrol engine. And the temperature is high in the case of diesel engine. It may reach up to 500 degrees centigrade, and it is about 280 to 300 degree in case of petrol engine. And the 10th difference is weight per HP is high in case of diesel engine. What is weight per HP? Weight per HP is high in case of diesel engine, and weight per HP is low in case of petrol engine. Okay. Next, you know that the operating cost is low in case of diesel engine, whereas the operating cost is high in the case of petrol engine. So there are 11 differences you should quote. I already sent the differences to you. You can note down. So let us study about the I think we have completed four-stroke diesel engine, four-stroke petrol engine, and the differences between those two. So next class, we'll talk about two-stroke. We'll go to two-stroke cycle engine. So when you studied four-stroke, two-stroke is very easy. Okay. What is a two-stroke cycle engine? Yes, anybody? I already explained what is a two-stroke cycle engine. Two-stroke cycle engine is one in which the cycle of operations completed in one revolution of the crankshaft, or the cycle of operations is completed in two piston strokes. In two piston strokes, the first stroke is called suction compression stroke. The second stroke is called power exhaust stroke. That I will take up in the next class. Now I have some discussions. Please open your videos about because last class I told you to be prepared for answering some questions on IC engine parts. I hope you completely studied those things. So I will ask the person should open the videos and he should interact. I will call the person so that he can interact and answer. Mr. Hemant Kumar, open your video. Hemant Kumar. Mr. Hemant Kumar, are you attending the class or not? 7. If you are not answering, I will put absent. 7. Hemant Kumar HK. Hello? Hello? Oh, so class alidine, class mugiದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay. Yes, Hemant Kumar is not there. Mr. Rudresh, open your video. Rudresh. Rudresh is there? He is also not there. Mr. Rudresh? I'll put absent for those who are not answering. And also they should open their videos whenever asked them to do so. Shreyas? Yes, is your video. Shreyas, what is the function of the piston? Shreyas,
Yes, sir.
what is the function of the piston?
A bit louder.
Function of the piston.
Don't know, sir.
Okay. Next question goes to Chinmay.
Sir, piston causes the connecting rod to rotate, sir. And it causes the compression and
That is
relaxation.
wrong. Next goes to Chaitra or
Sir, the piston rod is connected to the connecting rod by a piston pin, sir, and it helps for the rotating of the cylinder.
That's why you should be alert. Anybody can give a correct answer, Ananya? Ananya KP?
Sir, it causes the compression of charge, sir.
Yes, correct. That is the answer. So piston is that part of the AC engine which compresses the charge inside the engine cylinder. Okay. Coming to Deepti. Deepti TL,
Yes, sir.
what is compression ratio? Just now I explained.
Sir, it is the value of total volume to clearance volume.
Yes, correct. What is total volume?
Sir, it's the total volume of the cylinder, sir.
Correct. You define.
So that volume of the cylinder in the engine, sir. Clearance volume is the volume available for the combustion of the charge.
Yes. What is another one?
So clearance volume.
The clearance volume. Okay. Total volume is equal to what?
It is stroke volume plus compression.
Yes. What is stroke
no,
volume?
no. Stroke volume plus clearance volume.
Yes, correct. What is stroke volume?
So it is the difference between PDC and TDC. Volume difference between TDC and
Yes,
BDC.
correct. What is TDC and BDC?
Sir, it is total, no, top dead volume, compression and
Top
bottom
dead center,
center and, yes, sir.
bottom dead center. So top dead center is the upper limit of the
Upper limit of the
piston travel.
piston traveling.
Okay. BDC
Yes,
means
sir.
bottom limit of the
Bottom limit of
piston travel.
traveling.
So the volume displaced by the piston between BDC and TDC is called
Stroke volume.
stroke volume. So above TDC, there is a space for combustion. This volume, we call it as
Clearance volume.
clearance volume. So the ratio of total volume to the clearance volume, what is called compression.
Compression.
Okay, I think it's clear now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The question goes to Kumar. Kumar, yes.
Sir.
What is the function of the camshaft?
Sir.
What is the function of the camshaft?
Sir, it helps in combustion, sir.
Camshaft, you know. What is the function of the crankshaft?
Sir, that converts the force into a rotatory motion.
It converts.
Hello?
Yes, it converts.
Rotatory motion, sir.
Yes, converts the reciprocating motion to rotary motion. Next, what material it's made of?
Cast iron, sir.
No. It is drop forged steel. It is drop forged steel. Arjun Reddy, open your video. Arjun Reddy, 21. Yes, you are not opened the video. So many of you are not opened They should open because there is a interaction is going on. We should answer to the questions. Arjun Reddy.
Sir,
Okay. So what are compression rings? Compression rings? That is, piston rings. Can you give the function of the piston rings? If you don't answer, the question goes to next person. Abhishek T. Naik. Abhishek T. Naik. Open your video.
yes, sir.
Oh. What is the
Sir,
function?
they prevent leak of gases, sir.
Okay. What are the types of piston rings? Types of piston rings. The question goes to Akshata.
Pressure ring and oil ring, sir.
Okay. Can you explain Akshata J? Can you explain the piston?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can explain.
Piston, sir.
Yes.
So piston is a part of IC engine, sir.
Yes.
It has two parts. The upper part is called as a crown, sir, and the down part is called as skirt. And it is used for compression of charge, sir.
Yes, correct. What material it's made of? What material is used for the manufacture of the piston?
So cast iron, sir.
Cast iron. Nowadays it is replaced by
Aluminium alloys.
aluminum alloy.
Yes, sir.
This menu is not open. This Divya KC. Divya KC. Okay, you can open your video. We had some discussion. Dheeraj. Hemant Raju. If you don't answer, I'll take it as absent. So please answer for attendance. Ashik, be alert. Ashik is absent.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Abhijna,
Present, sir.
Abhishek,
Yes, sir.
others, open your videos so that I can, otherwise I can't.
Yes, sir. Others.
Others, Budnal, present. Others, Budnal. Afroza,
Yes, sir.
Adal,
Yes, sir.
Aishwarya,
Present, sir.
Aishwarya, yes.
Present, sir.
Akshata,
Present, sir.
Akshat Patel,
Present, sir.
Akshata J,
Present, sir.
Akul, Akul present. Amol,
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Amrita,
Present, sir.
Amrita G,
Present, sir.
Anaga,
Present, sir.
Ananya KP,
Present, sir.
Anika,
Present, sir.
Ankita,
Present,
Varma,
sir. Present,
Anusha,
sir.
Anusha LS,
Present, sir.
Arjun, Arjun GL, Arun,
Yes, sir.
Arun Kumar, Ashoka, Ashoka, absent. Ayaz,
Present, sir.
Padvat,
Present, sir.
Rahul Reddy,
Present, sir. Yes, sir.
Basuraj,
Yes, sir.
Bhavani,
Present, sir.
Biresh,
Present, sir.
Banu, Banu
Present,
Kumar,
sir.
Bhargav,
Present.
Bhaskar Gowda,
Present, sir.
Bhavan, Bhavana,
Yes, sir.
Bhumika,
Present, sir.
Bhona Radhya,
Present, sir.
Bhuneshwari, Bhuneshwari, Chandan,
Present, sir.
Chandana, GT,
Present, sir. Present, sir.
HR,
Present, sir.
Chandrasekhar,
Present, sir.
Chandusri,
Present, sir.
Chetan, Chetan AM, Chetanar, Chetan are present,
Present, sir.
Chinmay,
Present, sir.
Chirantana, Darshan,
Present, sir.
Dikshit,
Present, sir.
Dipti,
Present, sir.
Dheeraj,
Present, sir.
Devendra,
Present, sir.
Janush,
Present, sir.
Dilip,
Present, sir.
Divakar, Divakar, absent,
Present, sir.
present, okay. Divya,
Present, sir.
Divyasri,
Present, sir.
VM,
Present, sir.
Gagan,
Yes, sir.
Gagana, yes,
Present, sir.
Ganesh,
Yes, sir.
H,
Present, sir.
Siddesh,
Present, sir.
Gayana, Gayan, what is this?
Gayan, sir.
Gagan, Gagan, MY,
Yes, sir.
Gopal,
Yes, sir.
Govardhan, Govardhan Gowda, present, Govind, yes, Gautami,
Present, sir.
Yan,
Present, sir.
another Gautami,
Present, sir.
Harsha,
Present, sir.
Rashita,
Present, sir.
Hemant,
Yes, sir.
MJ,
Present, sir.
Hemant Raju,
Present, sir.
Hemant Kumar, HK, Imran,
Yes, sir.
Indranil,
Present, sir.
Basulingappa,
Yes, sir.
Basavennappa,
Yes, sir.
Chaitra,
Present, sir.
Chandan, Chandan C, absent, Chandrika,
Present, sir.
Chetan,
Yes, sir.
Likita,
Present, sir.
Nagaraj,
Yes, sir.
Tanusha,
Present, sir.
Pritam,
Present, sir.
Rudresh,
Yes, sir.
Sahadev, Sahadev,
Present, sir.
Virish, Virish, present, Okay.
Present, sir.
Who is that? Number?
AMB 0021.
21. Why you are not answered? Well, as I see.
Sir, AMB 0092, sir.
Sir, there was a network issue, sir.
9
092, sir.
021.
9 to Viresh.
Okay, sir.
Sir, 21.
1 okay.
Sir, AMB 0001.
Sir, AMB 0050. They haven't called my name, sir.
Ikshita. Okay. Ikshita.
AMH 0085.
ಸರ್
Yes.
ಸರ್ ವೀರೇಶ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಬ್ರು ಹಾಸನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ
ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸೆಮಿಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್.
Can you tell the names?
ಇದು ನಿಶಾ ಹೊಸ್ಮನಿ ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್.
ಅವ್ರ ID ನಂಬರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯೇನಪ್ಪ?
ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಇದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್.
Yes, Nisha.
Yes, sir. I'm AMH 0056, Nisha Hosmani.
0056.
56.
That's all? That is
Yes,
H.
AMH 0056. Yes, sir.
AMH. Okay. 05056. Nisha. Initial?
Nisha J. Hosmani.
J. Osmani.
Sir, AMH 0085. Shreyas HV.
0085.
85.
Who is that?
Shreyas HV.
Yes. HV.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, AMB 0001, sir.
Okay. Present.
ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ 94 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್.
Yes, correct. 94.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ.
Okay. I will end up the meeting.